program is dedicated to Don't Worry Walt Disney. 1971, Love for America inspired the creation of Hollow Presidents, set up by Dodgers and the Goodwill, the heart of the American story. Walt's vision was to honor by honoring the American Presidents League. 785, and the smoke is clearing in the war. Revolutionary War. Over the course of 8 grinding, General George Washington, then the foreign shopkeepers unperformed the American allies over the greatest military power of the world. A new nation has been born, painted and free. Performer must perform the national anthem Infinity. 1970. National debate. The Constitution. Country in the highest office. Something new in this world. Leader not born. In the power like a king or queen. Leaders not seized. Seen for conquest. They're not separate from the people. Elected by among the people. Be the people. This is a new idea. Anarchy idea. The idea of president. None of the people would know exactly what the president would be. This is a doubt who. George Washington has marked him as a leader. His integrity as a great one. Washington knows that many chimneys led to a successful revolution and his town's dictator. Instead, he, aloof from power, desires home out. The world takes note. Washington becomes a simple American idol. In the first presidential election, Washington was landslide. Dared to feel on his own. Finds integrity. Furnace and all I can. Integrity. Furnace is exactly what we need. I think he does as a president from our successor. His fundament may be the most of all. Terms and no terms. Constitution and one we support to stay. He steps down once again. That power back to the people. Us to speak. Back to the new president. During the early years of the Republic, I believe it has differences from Thomas Edison, John Andrew Jackson. Soon off for later. Each president stands a fair intersection where they did their Mesa Channing. Hard times. Some call the president their glory. Others they cause it a slave. Misery. We the people must, well, we elect 15 years before the course of history. To the edge of the crisis like the flyer. A nation free and still has slavery. The country pushes west. Become a slave. The question reduces bitter conflict. The election reduces 18. Brings Abraham Lincoln to the national stage. Song made around the Cancun. Illinois is a border for the people in need. Provided with and against itself. And he said, when it comes to winning election, that is indeed divide. Civil War. 11 states receive from the Union. The war. The defining passage of the president's story. The president's armed and strict on the deaths. To change course. Lincoln had become the hard worker, desperate, more or less than former schooling, and if all by tragedy. Father, his sister, his first love. He struggles with depression. He loses determination to God. Instead, he is driven by the lead the world a better, having limited. The war, which is Lincoln fights to present Union and slavery. Neither is a sure thing. And against poor Pennsylvania, 6 months after the battle of the war, the president's dedicated cemetery died there. We can never forget. 7 years ago, fathers proudly running this continent, outside the nation, Eve Liberty, dedicated to the proposition, man with great eagle. You're all engaged in a great civil war, and with dictation so conceived and so putrid can doer. We are men on the great field of that war, come to dedicate abortion, field, and the resting place. Those out of here gave your that nation is altogether fittingly proper to this. In the larger sense, it is altogether proper to this. But in the larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. Brave men living and struggling here consecrate it. Our but more powerful out of the tract, world with little go. Remember what we say here. They can never forget what they did here. It's for us the living to be dedicated here. Watch most unfinished work. The day of all Hiroshima only advanced. It's rather for us, okay, to the grand remain before us, and these honored dead, vastly demotion, which cause which they gave, your devotion. Really here I was all, dead shall not die. We, that this being under, no, shall we, birth of freedom, the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Will not perish from the unrelenting love over 1.5 million distant spewed war. Begins a joint hope. The true meaning of the sacrifices of so many. Lead us to that new birth. In union to the end. New birth truly begins. And fought for the 20th. Canada's rule west. Few railroads to the coast. Millions of immigrants pouring from Asia. Bells our economy. Standing above nations. We need presidents of the homeland. Emphasis Theodore Roosevelt from New York politics. Who tragedy. Never heard his mother or wife on in the same house in the Badlands. He refuses life on his country. Heart seems stronger, we and spirit. His renewed energies just this country needs. American industry. Our social intentions are rising. Our progressive movement, pushing movement, hand-page movement is needed in the living industry. Cities, ones between, in poor, never change how we're strong. In Roosevelt, on a crusade, lead with force and parting cloud, in terms that make colorful lives and a market newspaper. Become the new me. Finest four-pop. Always a phrase. Proverb. Softly carry it big as the greatest accomplishment. Needed home. Jug a giant monopoly. Workers write calling. Word you deal. Rich and poor can and wage earn. Grandma's a clear deal. Disneyland because on America to be evident and natural. Nature of its lands. Keep your eyes. Stars in your feet, bound tells us, and we do. 1929, Pearl Harbor, employed. Our journey is leisure to. We were elected our 37th president. Course of history, president's last. Began shape board of our national. Franklin D. Roosevelt, realized by polio, aged by people paranoid by the Great Depression. Believe in practical explanation, practical quote. You found inner strength that cove now need. Feel like us to a friend and his optimism is contagious. Voice perfect, medium. He causes us to believe that we are theater but fear itself. And we do believe. And supports us right war. Not even forget a challenge dog. Finally uses dog. Own world war. We must be on our perfect. This is relationship. War itself. Done the war with our ocean. When bombs fall on USA. Pearl Harbor in the fight upon the war. Sacrifice on the home front. Proud of the sacrifice already done. So speaks America. The other years, 76. So speaks America. Today, the world changes. Every country changes. And yet in one sense of host of our president never changed. The position that calls forth America can it be? How does it become the development of the sun? Or another focus between the arms. Choice is Earth. As not your country. 2. Shoot it to for your country. Hooray! Heroes, all of us must overcome the heresy, legacy, dream, and business. Shall over the only president to dunk business to dunk. Frank Walker won't be any relation. Yeah, well, tear down this door. Whoa, whoa! have lost to, but you certainly have not lost our. I can hear you. However, this country requires us to speak out. Shake up your status quo of America. And now, presidency is no longer just an idea. An idea with a proud. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America. Children. John Adams. Thomas Jefferson. Teasman Rose. John Quigley Adams. Andrew Jackson. Martin Van. Ray Henry. Tom Jefferson. Schuyler. James K. Polk. Zachary Taylor. Arthur Fillmore. Freddie Pierce. James Buchanan. Abraham Lincoln. Andrew Johnson. Ulysses S. Grant. Bedford Behaves. James A. Garfield. Chester A. Arthur. Grover Cleveland. Benjamin Harris. William McKinney. Theodore Roosevelt. William Howard Taft. Woodrow Wilson. Warren G. Harding. Alan Coolidge. Hooray. Grover. Fine. D. Roosevelt. Harry S. Truman. Dwight D. Howard. John F. Kennedy. Lyndon B. Johnson. Roe N. Nixon. Gerald R. Ford. Jimmy Crowder. Ronald Reagan. George Bush. Bill Clinton. George W. Bush. Barack Obama. Joe Biden. Now we come to the present. We place our trust in the idea of a president. Half from the beginning. My fellow citizens. No event greater than anxiety. Medication on the 3rd day of April. Since 1989, but you have selected me to lead our relation. But if it was the confidence of my citizens, then I took an oath. 35 simple words, then repeated by American families soon throughout history. I, Donald J. Trump, solemnly swear faithfully execute the oath of President of the United States, and will, best of my ability, preserve and protect and concede institution of the United States. So help me God. Presidency of the United States. Oh, you need the role in office to entrust in each by us people, where we realize the genius of that new idea of 1,000 years old. New idea we're practicing to a great American idea. Again and again.